Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I've got Jason Smith on the program, and he's got, I think, a brilliant business that he works with, helping companies dramatically improve their bottom line, particularly those mid-market companies. Jason is a regular contributor here on the program. Tell us a little bit about your company, and then introduce us to your guest today.
Okay. Our company is at Max Profits. It's at operatingcosts.com, and our business, in a nutshell, increases our clients' profitability by lowering their operating costs. Yeah. We do all of our work on a contingency basis, meaning that if we fail to lower the operating costs and improve the profitability of our clients, then our clients don't pay us anything.
All right. Tell us about your guest today.
Our guest today is Ben Mulling. He's the CFO of Tent Casters and chair-elect of the IMA, which is the Institute of Management Accountants.
Okay, very good. Ben, welcome to the program. Kind of give us the your elevator speech, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Kevin, for having me on. Again, he said, my name's Ben Mulling. I'm the CFO of a mid-sized company here in Hebron, Kentucky, Tent Casters. I've been the CFO for about 6 years now. As he said, I'm the chair-elect of the Institute of Management Accountants, and we really deal with accountants in business is what we deal with, and a growing organization, a growing field, something that's helped me in my career, and it's playing a big part in industry today.
Let me ask you real quickly before I have Jason give a couple of questions because I'm hogging the mic, but let me ask you, does that organization, would you say the majority of those accountants are with mid-market companies or enterprise level? Are they just across the board all over the place?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit all over the place. We have some in academics. You have a lot of people that are in small, mid-sized businesses, and we also have our share of people that deal with large corporations as well. So I would say, if I had to say the bread basket would so probably be the middle market companies. But like I said, we have a good spread both directions.
Very good, Jason.
Hey Ben, now, you're the CFO of Tent Casters. How big is that organization? About how many employees do you have there?
Yeah, here in the U.S., we have about 100 employees. Globally, we're around over 1,100 employees. So we're a good medium-sized company, a growing company, but we are in, I think, around 21, 22 different countries. We have around 31 different subsidiaries around the world. So we have the feel of a small market company in some of the areas we're in, but globally we're a pretty decent-sized company.
Yeah, it sounds like you have your feet in quite a few different areas. Now, as a CFO is much more than just, in my opinion, a CFO is much more than just a bean counter. A CFO, I think, is one of the most important positions in any company because it's his or her strategy that determines the profitability of that business. Can you give our audience members some best practices on increasing profitability?
Yeah, when you deal with a lot of small, medium-sized companies, they don't necessarily have the resources of a lot of larger companies. So some of the things that that I deal with from my company standpoint is, one, I tend to use technology. I utilize technology a lot. Like you said, you don't have the luxury of just adding lots of people and spending a lot of capital because cash really is king and it's limited. And so you have to force it to actually use it more efficiently than maybe a large corporation would do. And so we tend to use technology a lot. In our company, we try to automate a lot of processes. We try to eliminate paper, streamline processes through the use of technology. Also, from a CFO standpoint, I try to drive a lot of change, and change is really important. I think that's one of the strengths, one of the lifebloods for small companies is that they have the agility to make changes a lot faster than maybe a larger corporation. And so for me, change is a big thing that we're trying to push here. I sort of get uncomfortable if I see us in the same spot for a year or 2 years in different areas. And I know with change can come some difficulties, but I know a lot of good things come with change as well. And so change is a big thing that we try to push. That's change from a technology standpoint in our systems. Because one thing that's for sure is that we live in a changing marketplace, and risks become different every day in
Yeah.
our marketplace. And so to be able to use different tools like that and really drive change are really important, and being able to, if not stay ahead, to maintain against maybe some of the larger corporations in the marketplace.
Ben, let me ask you real quickly in terms of the number of members this organization has.
Yeah, in terms of members for the IMA, we have around 72,000 members and growing. We've actually experienced a large amount of growth recently, and I think what you're seeing in the marketplace right now is a big emphasis over the last 10 to 20 years, a big emphasis in managerial accounting or in management accounting, which deals a lot more with, the day-to-day things that people are dealing with. I don't deal with audit and taxation that much in my job, maybe a few times a year, but I deal with budgets and forecasting and analyzing things on a daily or weekly basis. And so we really service a broad range, but we have over 72,000 members and growing.
Wow, that's fantastic. Jason?
I wanted to, I love technology, and I think technology is a big a part of today's business. You were talking about making changes and keeping ahead of the curve. That's difficult to do. It's difficult to get everybody on board for change. I think as human beings, we inherently don't like change. How do you get people on board to make these changes?
Yeah, Jason, that's actually an excellent question. I think first what you're seeing from finance people and CFOs in general, you're seeing them take over the role as a driver of change and really being more of an operational CFO. You can't be the type of person that's just going to sit in your office really and look at, debits and credits and spreadsheets and be the, proverbial bean counter, as Kevin had mentioned earlier. You actually have to get down and dirty, get down in the trenches. You have to get involved from different areas of the company. That's where you're actually seeing the CFO role going right now. And as a result of doing that, you tend to build trust with everybody in your company. And I think that's the most important thing that a CFO has to develop in their company, is they have to get trust, not just from their own department, from across the organization, because without trust, you can't drive change. And once you actually build that trust between yourself and other departments, then you start to be able to drive change, to do improvement projects. People tend to trust you. In the very beginning, it takes a leap of faith. You got to kind of step out there, put your neck out there, and offer some suggestions. And the key thing is that you're not just offering suggestions that are beneficial for you. You're trying to prove to people how you're going to make their lives easier, their jobs easier, how you can improve their performance. Once you make it about them and not about you, it becomes easier to drive change in your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking again to Jason Smith, his website, operatingcosts.com, and our guest, Ben Mulling, and he's with Tenti Casters and also with the Institute of Management Accountants. You can learn about Tenti at tnte.com and the Institute at imanet.org. Your next question, Jason? And this needs to be the last one, and if you don't mind, Ben, make your answer short. We're tight on time now.
Okay.
You had mentioned that you might have some initiatives in place for developing additional skill sets for some of your accounting staff. Can you give us a brief overview of that?
Yeah, sure. I take the mantra that a person is only as good as a successor that they have in the building, and so I think you have to continuously be pushing continuous education with your employees. So I really try to push going back to school. I really try to push certifications. We have a senior accountant here in our company who just graduated from college and actually graduated with his CMA. He actually got his CMA, passed the exams before he actually graduated college, and so now he's just waiting on his experience requirement to actually then become a licensed CMA. So, I think certifications are key, and I really push my employees to do that kind of thing. We provide the payment from the company. We'll reimburse for those kind of things. I give them time if they need to study some while they're on the job. Just being flexible with young professionals, I think, is a big thing nowadays.
Got to wrap it up, gentlemen. Great segment. Thanks so much to all of you. Ben Mullings, Jason Smith, myself, Kevin Price. By the way, best content here can be found over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. Stay tuned for more right after this.